I'm VJ Hamilton and welcome to the Autoimmune Reset, the place for you to learn how to thrive with autoimmune disease and feel empowered to take steps to transform your health to feel better than ever. You can start making changes today to improve your health. So with every episode, my mission is to share with you simple ways to up-level your diet and lifestyle with key learnings from my own journey reversing autoimmune disease and inspirational stories from those who have reset their autoimmune symptoms and are now thriving in life. I suffered from autoimmune disease for over 25 years and now I live symptom-free, and I wish the same for you as well. So thank you for being here and sharing this time with me. Now let's get started. Hello and welcome back to another Friday 5 episode of the Autoimmune Reset podcast. I'm your host, VJ Hamilton. I'm a nutritionist, scientist, and expert in autoimmune disease. And today I want to talk about something that I see all the time, both in clinic and within my online communities as well. And many people who come to me are incredibly knowledgeable. They've read lots of books, they've listened to podcasts similar to this, they've been following certain experts in different areas, they've joined Facebook groups and spent countless hours researching their symptoms, which is what I did originally as well. And in fact, I would say some people know more about autoimmune disease, gut health, thyroid function, their hormones and supplements than many healthcare practitioners, because when you are going through these conditions, you are so motivated to understand them better and to understand the root cause. What I often find is that people still feel stuck regardless of this, not because they're doing anything wrong, not because they haven't tried hard enough, but because at some point information stops being the answer. And in today's society, we are in information overload. And that's why on this podcast, I'm here to share information with you. But I also hope that you get some practical advice and things that you can walk away from this podcast and being able to implement in your health today. Because what we actually need when we are going through these issues is we need more clarity. And I have spent years simplifying my life after going on a deep dive into autoimmune disease. I actually changed my whole career, and that's why I'm doing what I do today. I still get overwhelmed. There is still lots of information out there. And what we really need is to simplify things, to clarify things, to understand things, rather than overwhelming ourselves with information. Because over the years, I've realized one of the biggest barriers to progress is not lack of effort, it's actually a lack of strategy. And I know we can associate strategy more from a business perspective, but it's the same with your health as well. And a clear understanding of what is most likely driving your symptoms, what deserves your attention first, and what can safely wait until later is important, because you can't do everything at once. So today I want to share 5 signs that you might need a health strategy rather than another supplement to take you forward with your health. So sign number 1 is that you keep looking for that missing piece, that one root cause. And when I started looking into this, I got so excited reading different research papers, thinking that I suddenly had the answer to the cure to multiple sclerosis, or I had the answer to reversing hair loss. And this is probably one of the most common things I see. You might be convinced that there is one thing that you haven't found yet. It might be that supplement or a test that can give you the insight, or it might be to do with foods that you're eating. It could be a practitioner that you can work with that can give you all the answers. It might be a protocol that you are following and you feel that might be the answer to everything. It's like you're looking for the one thing that is going to finally make everything click into place. I understand this because I have been there myself when I was dealing with alopecia and psoriasis and the chronic fatigue, digestive issues, all the confusion that came with them. I was constantly searching for the next answer. And the challenge is that when you are always looking for the next thing, you can miss the progress that comes from consistently implementing things in the right way. And it isn't as motivating sometimes when you are doing some of the foundational aspects or focusing on one thing when you know you could be doing more. But in the long run, it is beneficial to do it in that way. And when I'm working with clients, I find that when we take it step by step, when we understand what is the main thing that is driving the symptoms and really work on clarifying that underlying root cause, that's when I'm seeing the most results for my clients. And sometimes the issue is that you need to decide which information matters most. And a practical exercise that I often give to clients is to write down every health intervention that you are currently trying and then ask yourself, which 3 are likely to make the biggest difference if I do them consistently for the next 3 months? And most people are surprised by how much they can simplify by doing this. Sign number 2 is that your supplement cupboard is overflowing. If you're opening your kitchen cupboard and feel like you're walking into a health shop, this one may be for you. And this is certainly something that I still deal with, to be honest, because I get lots of supplements sent to me for me to try. And I do have a lot of supplements in the house for that reason. But when I was first starting out, I'd read something, I'd buy a supplement, I'd take it for a month, didn't feel like it was working, then I'd buy something else. And I say this because I have been through it again, and many people that come to me are taking 10, 15, sometimes 20 supplements a day. And the problem is that supplements are not the strategy. They are tools that we can use to help accelerate our recovery, and they're useful when you are trying to build or address the underlying root causes of what might be contributing to your symptoms. But one of the biggest shifts that I see when I'm working with clients is when you stop thinking about which supplement or which one supplement could help and actually start thinking about what is your biggest obstacle in preventing you from getting better. And the answer might not be a nutrient. It might be to do with poor sleep. It might be to do with chronic stress in your life. It could be to do with blood sugar instability. It might be to do with an unresolved gut issue. And the supplement is just a small piece of that. And that's why when I'm working with clients, I do a full review of the supplements that they're currently taking, but also the supplements that I will recommend for, say, 4 to 6 weeks when we're doing a focused protocol are going to be supplements that I know are going to be helpful rather than just taking lots of different things just because of the trendiest supplements at the moment. Sign number 3 is that you are trying to fix everything at once. This, again, is something that I find quite challenging because I am somebody who is quite impatient when I set my mind to things. I would like to just go all in and do everything that I can. But the truth is, taking a more structured approach is often more helpful. And I find that this is particularly common in people with autoimmune disease. I work with a lot of people who are highly motivated, they are all in, and they want to do everything. And I understand that, but it is best to take it a step at a time. And when we're reading lots of different things on the internet or in magazines or on podcasts, you're going to discover that your gut health really matters when it comes to an autoimmune condition. You might read an article on mold or then realize that hormonal imbalance can impact it as well, or that nervous system dysregulation could be a factor too. And then you might read things about mitochondria detoxification. I mean, the list goes on. Before long, you are going to have far too many things to prioritize and no idea where to begin. And the truth is that most of these things probably do matter, but the problem is trying to tackle them all at the same time often leads to overwhelm and inconsistency. One of the things that I've learned from supporting hundreds of clients with their health is often it's about sequence, not just what you do, but when you do it is so important. And sometimes the fastest route forward is actually slowing down and focusing on 1 or 2 key priorities. Now, ask yourself, if you could focus on one area in your health over the next month, what would it be? It's a question that I commonly ask my clients as well. You may find that the answer is surprisingly obvious, and I would encourage you to really just focus on that one key area for the next month. Sign number 4 is that you are treating your symptoms rather than looking for patterns. And for years, I thought of my symptoms separately. I saw my hair as one problem. I saw my skin as another problem. I saw chronic fatigue as something else. I mean, I lived with chronic fatigue for over 10 years and really didn't think it was a symptom. I just thought it was me. I saw digestion as an entirely different issue. But what I realized eventually was that they are all connected. And this is something I see every week in clinic as well. The body does not work in separate compartments. I think we all know this now. Your gut influences your immune system influences your skin, your stress levels influence your digestion, your sleep influences your hormones, and everything is so interconnected. And one of the most powerful things you can do is to stop asking, how do you get rid of that one symptom? And to start asking, what pattern is a symptom part of? And again, that's what I do when I'm doing a full health assessment for a client. I'm looking at all the different symptoms, because once we put those all together, it gives us such good information about what might be the underlying root causes of those symptoms. And lastly, sign number 5 is you feel exhausted by your health journey when you should be feeling better by taking steps to improve your health. And this is perhaps the most important sign of all, because living with these symptoms is not just physically tiring, but it's mentally and emotionally draining as well. And you are constantly making decisions, wondering if you're doing the right thing. You might try something and then be a bit uncertain of it, or might react to something and then try something else. You might be always wondering, are you doing the right thing? If you're looking after or helping your child with an autoimmune disease, then you might be worried, are you making the right decisions for them? You might be questioning whether you should try something new. And as I said, I've been there. You're researching, you're comparing, you're second guessing everything. You're waking up in the middle of the night and just wondering whether you're taking the right approach. Should you be doing something differently? And at some point, many people will reach a stage where they just don't need any more information, and you don't need any more supplements, or you don't need another test. You just need somebody, or you need to step back and look at the bigger picture and connect the dots and create a plan around that. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, sometimes it's the most sensible thing to do. And when I've been working with clients and we've done testing, they've been following protocols, they've seen some results, they're progressing in the right way, it just potentially is needing a bit more time, then I will generally recommend that they just have a break, just keep following what we've been doing, leave it for 3 months, and then decide whether they want to do any further testing or want to do any further protocols, because it can be overwhelming. But when you know that you are working on something that is valuable and you are sure that you understand more about what is contributing to your symptoms and why you are doing what you're doing, then that is much better than just trying lots of new things. So if there is one thing I would like you to take away from today's episodes, it's this: that more information does not always create better health. Clarity does. The people who I've seen make the greatest progress are rarely the people who know the most. They are often the people that know where to focus. So before you go buying another supplement or sign up for another course or go down another rabbit hole on Google, which I know we all do, ask yourself, do you really need more information? Because information can be stressful as well. When we have too much information, it can be overwhelming, and that can lead to that stress response, which, as I've mentioned many times in this podcast, is one of the areas that is so vital when it comes to autoimmune disease. When our bodies are in that calm, restorative state, that's when we're going to be seeing more progress. Ask yourself if you need a clearer strategy when it comes to your health, and just taking a step back, giving yourself a bit of headspace can actually make a big difference. And before I finish today's episode, I wanted to share something new that has actually been inspired by many of the conversations I've had with clients over the years, because time and time again, I meet people who are intelligent, they're motivated and doing all the right things, yet they still feel overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information available. They have symptoms, they have done lots of testing, they've gone through many supplement protocols, but what they are often missing is not more information. They're missing that clarity and strategy. And that is one of the reasons that I have created the Root Reset Intensive. And this is a private in-person experience where we spend a dedicated day together exploring your health history, your symptoms, your lifestyle, all of the testing that you've done previously. You can also do testing in advance of that, and the patterns that might be contributing to your health challenges. So bringing it all together and giving you that clarity and that understanding of what is going on with your health, and leaving that session with a clear plan of what you need to focus on in order to recover. And the goal is not simply to gather more and more information, but it's to connect the dots and bring everything together so we can go through the potential root causes, understand what deserves the greatest attention in your health, and create a personalized 6-month strategy which is designed to help you move forward in your health and regain confidence in the direction that you are heading. It's particularly helpful if you don't have a lot of time and you just want to spend the day really going all in on your health, but having a good structure to then follow after that. You'll leave with a detailed health progression plan. You'll have clear priorities, practical recommendations, and a follow-up support to help you implement that plan and stay on track. And the day itself is just the starting point. The first Root Reset intensives will be taking place on Harley Street in London this summer. And if it sounds like something that might be helpful for you, then you'll find the application for that in the show notes. If not, have a fantastic weekend. You can reach out to me on Instagram if you have any questions about today's episode at The Autoimmunity Nutritionist. And I'll see you next Friday for another Friday 5. Take care. Thank you very much for joining me today on the Autoimmune Reset. I really hope you enjoyed the discussion, and be sure to subscribe to the podcast so that you never miss an episode. And if you liked it, I would hugely appreciate a review on iTunes, as it helps me understand what you like about the podcast and to help share the information with more people. I'm excited to speak to you next time, and remember, you have the power to take the reins on your health. So keep the faith and celebrate the small wins. Until next time.